Everybody. Hey, everybody. We made it to the 40th day of the 40 Day Soul Fast. I cannot believe it. Hallelujah, God. Hallelujah. Okay. So I'm going to give you all this quote by Richard Stone. When the lessons of the past are offered without the stories that lead to them, it's difficult. It is not impossible for us to learn from the experiences of others. Stories nourish our souls as well as our intellect. Let me tell you, so I just finished a discussion with my prayer group. We just finished out the 40 Day Soul Fast, and along with us going through the story, going through the discussion, we told stories, and I've also been doing that as I share with you all. There is no way you can live this life and not tell someone about the goodness of the Lord. Let me tell you. So anyway, Dr. Trimm says telling stories with a community of believers is an important part of growing into maturity in the Christian life. So Eugene Peterson says, I am not myself by myself. There are those who are content to keep the past in a treasure chest, secretly opening it occasionally to savor the memories, reading the maps, looking at the photographs and pictures again, the great escapades and accomplishments of yesterday. Some people never venture out themselves at all, but live their lives through the stories of others. Neither of those are the kinds of lives that God has for us, but becoming a storyteller is. We are supposed to become a storyteller, right? And we're supposed to walk like Jesus. And Jesus was one that told stories. And that's how followers and people became more attracted to God through the stories of Jesus. So Matthew says, I will open my mouth and tell stories. I will bring out unto the open things hidden since the world's first day. When asked by some of his disciples why he spent so much time telling stories, he replied, I tell stories to create readiness and to nudge people toward receptive insight. So I'm nudging you like Jesus did to get ready, to get an understanding so that you can get some receptive insight, okay? Get insight on what God is saying and what he's calling you to do. Okay, so in addition to telling stories, she says, as you become your true self and tell your story to others, you become a part of the cloud of witnesses set on a hill whose light shines brightly, who's collectively witness to the love of God for the world. So let your light shine. So I like that. So as we tell story, people see this glow on us and they be like, what is that? What is it about you? You're glowing. What is it? And then you say that it is the glory of the Lord. It is what God is saying to me, what God is leading me to do. So you see this, I look like it's cocoa butter, but it's not. It's the glory of the Lord. But then she goes on to celebrate. Congratulations, you are on the very last day of the 40 Day Soul Fast. I commend you for completing the journey, and I pray that you are living more authentically as a result. And you have been on this journey with me. You have been listening. You have been liking and sharing, and I thank you so much. Sister Trimm thanks you. God thanks you for being bold. I know we so quick to share foolishness, but to share the glory of God. So we are taking on the characteristic of community. Here she goes. Collection, collaboration, communication, acceptance, compassion, respect, support, safely, shared values, inclusion, kindness, tolerance, understanding, inspiration are a few words that come to mind when I think about community. So she says, I want to talk to you about what I believe it is. It's also nearest and dearest to God's heart. Build a community is not a political or economic process, but purely spiritual and relational. I love her explanation. It's ultimately the corporation of destiny, a collaboration of entities. It's about living and working together so that you can make this world a better place for everyone. I love that. Then she says, when you build communities, there is no big I and little you, but it's simply we and us. And so that always brings me back to the famous quote from Goody Mob. You and I got to do for you and I. What? So then she references First Thessalonians 3 and 12. May the Lord make your love for one another and for all of people grow and overflow, just as our love for you hath overflown. I love that. She says community requires that we walk in love with one another as we strive to become our best and most authentic selves. And Gandhi says, be the change you want to see. Okay, so here goes some of the assignments. I'm going to give you one. Change begins one thought, one soul, and one life at a time. What is the one thought you can adopt that would change everything? If it's one thing you can think that will cause a ripple effect in your life and in the lives of other people, what would that thought say? What would that character be that you want? Think about characteristics. Think about that bowl or that characteristic that you wish you had. Okay. Even if, we were just talking about that. I was listening to Pastor Tim Ross, and he talks about being he's not one that really likes to, talk a lot as much as he is. He's more of an introverted person. And, but he comes off as extroverted, but he's not. So a characteristic could be you want to be introverted, but that's not you. But God says for the work that he calls you to do, you need to do that. Then you can be, when you're yourself, then be introverted. But when you're doing God's work, be extroverted. To believe it or not, I'm a very shy person. But here I am on this platform sharing the goodness of God. Would I like to do this? I never thought I would, but I'm doing what God's called me to do. You think about what you're called to do and you walk into it. This is the 40-Day Soul Fast. Everybody, thank you for liking and sharing. To stay tuned, I'm going to be giving you some more information on this book. Take care.